So I recently saw some discourse online talking about why do wrestling fans hate Hulk Hogan? From the outside world, right? We wrestling fans actually know why we dislike Hulk Hogan. But from the outsider's perspective, oh, why do they hate him? Like, wasn't he the most beloved wrestler of the 80s, 90s, some of the 2000s? To which I think I actually have a very straightforward answer as to why wrestling fans boo Hulk Hogan. I think the chief reason why we boo Hulk Hogan now, at least, is because we're smarter. Wrestling fans have become smarter since the 80s and 90s, right? Between YouTube, forums, social media, wrestling fans, most of us are smarks, right? We know what's going on. We are well aware we're involved in a stunt show, right? A drama stunt show epic. But with that, though, we kind of know what's going on behind the scenes. And, that can kind of turn us on people, right? It's no longer as simple as, oh, this guy's acting like a good guy, cheer for him. You can see that back when Edge and Lita and Matt Hardy had the whole love triangle situation. Fans turned on Edge, who was a bad guy, so fair enough. Lita was a good guy. But fans turned on her hard. It was bad. We fans are aware it's a theater stunt show. We are aware of that, and we're willing to go along with it. We're willing to go for the ride. But there is a point where if you're an asshole outside the ring, we will hate you in the ring. Also, notable prick, Alberto Del Rio. Now, since the rise of the Smarks, multiple stories have come out as far as incidents concerning Hulk Hogan and a variety of topics. But let's start with the selfishness. Now, this one is not alleged. This is a fact. Jesse Ventura wanted to start a wrestlers union way back in the 80s. He wanted better pay for the workers and healthcare insurance, along with benefits, a 401k. He essentially wanted to unionize the wrestling industry. Well, Hulk Hogan stooged him out to Vince McMahon. What's the word for it? He tattled on him to Vince McMahon, and Jesse Ventura was fired. Vince always took care of Hulk Hogan after that. At WrestleMania 9, Hulk Hogan won the title well after his expiration date. And he promised he would lose it to Bret Hart at SummerSlam later on in a passing of the torch moment. Until he didn't, and that never happened, and he lost it to Yokozuna after never appearing on TV, the selfish bastard that he is. He actively sabotaged other wrestlers, like nixing a program with Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, they had filmed, bear in mind, the segment went unaired. They had actually filmed a segment of Jake the Snake Roberts attacking Hulk Hogan to kick off a program. Here's the thing. Fans cheered Jake Roberts. He was a bad guy, but he got cheered for taking down Hulk Hogan. So Hogan nixed the program. Now, let's talk about something else, a little more recent. Hulk Hogan and racism. Yay. Alright. In 2015, Hulk Hogan was caught on a hot mic using the N-word to describe, in a derogatory term, to describe a guy that his daughter Brooke Hogan was dating. Besides the obvious racist implications, he was exiled, and when he came back, he was told, hey, you gotta apologize to the locker room. Well, reports state that when he did go to apologize to the boys, it wasn't so much an apology for what he said, it was more like a, watch what you say, you never know whenever you're being recorded. He's not sorry for what he said, he's sorry he got caught, which is not the same thing. Then there was also this time fairly recently where he mispronounced Benjamin Shelton's name, which, dumbass. There's also stories of him just blatantly lying. Now, I don't have time to go through all of them, but let's just go through some of the highlights. He was apparently approached to become the bass guitarist for Metallica at some point. He said that the George Foreman girl was originally pitched to him, but that he turned it down, and that he was also offered a big part in a spy film, you may know it, James Bond, which I call bullshit. But let's get to the worst one. Let's get to the very worst thing about him. To me, at least, this is the worst one. In August of 2007, Nick Hogan, Hulk Hogan's son, was involved in a car crash. He was the driver. This resulted in the vegetative state of his best friend who was in the passenger seat. Hulk Hogan was caught on a hot mic telling the following to his son. Among things discussed were how John, the person in a vegetative state, permanent vegetative state, was in that accident. Nick caused it, and Hulk said, and I quote, God laid some serious shit on him because of things that he was into. Essentially blaming the guy for his son's crash and being in the state that he's in. And it only got worse later on because they then talked about how he could get a new reality show called, The New Nick. How he, recovered from this accident. How he's trying to be the best version of himself. And Nick was, again, caught on the mic saying, well, whatever we can do to make the most money. So Terry Bollea is fundamentally not a good person. Most wrestling fans also happen to lean liberal, believe it or not. Actually, if you look it up, there are stats. Wrestling fans typically lean liberal. So Hulk Hogan is a massive Trump supporter, which, I mean, all those concussions, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Brain damage. Anyway, that's it. I'm aware that there are the wrestlers that are outspoken supporters of Donald Trump, but last I checked, Roman Reigns has never been caught in a hot mic being racist. Triple H was never caught in a hot mic blaming a car crash victim. Like, there's a threshold of bullshit fans will put up with, right? And some wrestlers will still get cheered. However, there's a limit there, right? If you're a good guy outside the ring, they will cheer you in the ring no matter what, right? If Big E left WWE and appeared in AEW, he would be cheered. He'd be loved. If Orton shows up at a GCW show, he will be cheered. If Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, appears in WWE tomorrow, I guarantee you he gets a massive pop from the crowd. Hulk Hogan is a guy that all wrestling fans have learned to hate. So, yeah, that's my takeaway. That's this week's wrestling video. What did you think? We're going to, again, be trying new stuff like this. Let us know down below. And, yeah, catch y'all next time. See you, everybody.